Welcome everyone to Tell Me That. My name is Paul, and in this podcast I interview my dad to find out about his interesting, funny and enlightening life stories. So if you are interested in learning from my dad, then stay tuned.
Hi son.
Hello Dad.
Back again, and as promised at the end of our last episode, this time I also tell you a bit about my private life. How that went. Business-wise, I told you that we had a good company, we had a solid base for the future, and a good 50-50 joint venture. We were very well known in very short time, and business really went off, it's amazing. So, but a little bit about how private life went, I had this beautiful apartment in my hometown, and I had that completely refurbished, new floors and walls and windows and doors, and I mean it was like brand new, and new bathroom, it's just state of the art bathroom, and so I was quite happy, and there was this young lady, my secretary, that I got close to more and more, and these things just happen, I mean, 2 years before, I would have said, no, that's it. I never gonna be engaged to another woman again. I mean, having fun is something different, but this relationship, no way. I learned from the past, Now, knowing your mom for a few years now, and well, she was so different, She wasn't pushy, She could listen. This is also something, I mean, women that can listen, Well, I hope that women are not listening to our to our podcast.
I can tell you quite a few are.
So I mean, and the days and evenings we spent together, and the dinners, it was so enjoyable and relaxing, and it was just great, So we got closer and closer, and one day that was about 2 years after we signed that joint venture. I asked her if she would take the risk to to marry me, and without any hesitation, she said yes immediately. So we got married, and we got married in December, and 1 year later, in December, there was little Paul, and it was you were just a great little guy. I remember so many beautiful hours with you, and I mean, from day one, you were a very, very special kid, It's a real boy, and later on, over the years, we did a lot of crazy stuff, playing football and baseball and tennis. I bought...
Also playing football in the house.
In the house, yeah. Remember that, in your room? The window was
the window was the goal. It's crazy.
And I was kneeing in the goal, and you with your... I think you were about like 3-4 years old. 3 years old, maybe, You had this green ball that was with a commercial from a cucumber company, and you always
it was green, and that's why we called it cucumber ball.
Cucumber ball, and you put that in the door frame, and then you went to the end of the alley, and you started running, and then boom.
I think for a kid I had quite a hard shot.
Well, I mean, I was lucky that I was such a good goalkeeper, because if I would have missed one ball, I mean, the window would have been history. So I mean, this is just we spend a great time, and so for the first 4 or 5 years, we had the house was finished. We had a beautiful garden and a real family, your mom, you and I, and it was just great, So, and that was my source, for getting or to refill my tank, that was so important, Even though, in the morning and in the evening, I had to drive from the house to the company. That was like 50, 60 kilometers each way, So, but anyway, it was just a great time, And so now I switch back to business. Business-wise, it was actually parallel to our private development. Business-wise, we built up the company. We were still in this what is it called, multi-business center. We had one unit, and it was nice and great, and then about a year after we signed that joint venture, I went to the United States to my friends, to my partner company, great people, by the way, and they always treated me like a real friend, So, but I went over there and I said, well, our machines, the machines that we have, that we produce in Germany, are machines that people buy from stock, you always have to have them in stock. If you have a problem with a valve that you want to repair and you want to regrind the valve seat, you don't want to do that in 4 weeks or 5 weeks, you want to do that now. So you have to have these machines in stock. We have them in stock in Germany, and they said, well, that's a great point, and we also need machines for our showroom. And it went back and forth, and all of a sudden I had a purchase order for 25 machines. When I got home and I showed that to my guys in the company, we had a party, I tell you. Well, it was a $250,000 purchase order. It was not bad at all. And in addition, the owner of the company, this company from Texas, they were also a big service company, and what they did is they had the idea to build a service truck. They actually put workbenches in there. They put tool cabinets and a little crane, So they changed their truck into a mobile workshop, and it was especially made for repairing valves in Texas. In Texas, there was a big market for that. And for this, they needed, of course, valve testing equipment, valve grinding equipment, and so on. So that was the next big purchase order for us, So, from that point of view, everything went very well. We were very happy. And now, however, the big growth of the company came from the products that our USA partner manufactured. These machines were portable machine tools for turning, milling, drilling, whatever, But these machines were equipped with American hydraulics, American electrics, American this and that, what have you. So spare parts here in Germany was kind of difficult.
Yeah, so also the image, I imagine, because good German quality.
Yeah, well, the parts are not bad, but the German customer wants to buy German stuff. He wants to go into the next shop and buy a little valve from Rexroth or Bosch or whatever, and not one from some American company.
Yeah.
we had several brainstorm meetings. What can we do to grow the company? And grow was, I mean, what we had in mind was a growth rate of minimum 20% per year.
Wow.
Yeah. So the first decision we made was we Germanized these machines.
Yeah.
You know? So we bought just the mechanical parts, the complete machine, but just mechanical part. We had the wiring diagrams and software and all that. We got that from these guys in the States. And we put German hydraulics, pneumatics, whatever, electrics. We put all that on these machines. And all of a sudden, they were German machines.
Yeah.
We could even sell them as German machines because we bought nice German boxes,
Yeah.
and the manual and CE confirmation and all that, So it was a German machine tool, and that was kind of a boost. And people start to look at these machines much closer. There was a market in Germany and in Europe for these machines, but a lot of our customers, they didn't really know that these machines were available. So we started a marketing campaign. We launched commercials by email and in magazines and so on, and we spread the word. And people, they came back to us. They were very curious about these machines, and they asked for demonstrations and so on. And so there was some movement, and we created them this strategic business plan for 3 years. For Europe, Germany, and Europe.
For Europe, Germany, and?
No, for Europe and Germany.
For Europe and Germany.
Yeah, for Europe and Germany. And that included a business plan based on the products that we want to sell, on the industries that we want to cover, how we can improve the dealer network in Europe, and how we can approach key customers. Because there was one thing that we noticed pretty soon or pretty early, and that was a lot of machines in the United States were sold to the power gen industries, like big power stations and companies like Westinghouse, General Electric, that they manufacture these big turbines and generators and so on. And shipbuilding companies, they bought these machines. Because you cannot move a ship into a workshop, to drill 2 holes. This is just not possible. And the mining industry, the mining industry, whether it was coal mining or whatever. If you have these big excavators or these earth-moving equipment, something breaks and something has to be re-welded, and you need a milling machine that kind of refinishes the surface, it is difficult to move these huge, tens of tons heavy parts into a workshop. It is much easier to take a portable milling machine, put it onto that workpiece, and remill that surface. It sounds kind of simple, but the Americans, they knew that philosophy for years. Here in Germany, it was kind of new, So what I did is I approached companies like Siemens, companies like ABB, companies that were big in the power gen industries, and also the big shipyards at the northern part of Germany. and also mining, but mining was more or less only the coal mining that we had in our neighborhood here, So, but then in very short time, there was one company that also had a big change in the organization, and that was Siemens. Siemens, the power gen industry at Siemens, they manufacture the big turbines, they install turbines, they build generators, they do service in power stations. And for the mechanical on-site work, on-site machining, they did that with subcontractors. And I tell you, these subcontractors, they made a fortune. They had these kind of self-made fixtures with a little milling tool on it, but somehow they fixed the job, and Siemens paid them a fortune, and so there was that one guy at Siemens. He started a separate department, and that was on-site power gen service and on-site machining. And he started that department with 3 people, and pretty soon they had the first projects. I still remember the first project was in a power station in the southern part of Germany. They had to install a new generator, and the foundation plate that they put into the concrete, the steel plate, it was like 10 millimeters too high. So the generator center line and the turbine center line didn't match, So they had to re-mill. They had to take off 10 millimeter of a plate that was like 5 meters by 10 meters. I mean,
that's a lot of material.
A lot of material, So they had called already a little service company from Bavaria, and they had their self-made little milling tool. And I estimated by the feed rate and chip removal rate they were using, that they needed like 25 years, to do that.
Crazy.
It was just crazy, So, and then this guy from Siemens, he called me and he said, "Hey, would you have a solution for us that can a machine that we can put on the plate and just remill this sucker,
Yeah.
So, and believe it or not, we had standard machines that could do it, milling machines. They had a footprint of like 1.5 by 3.5 meters, with a big bed and a cross rail, a big slide, a big milling head. We had milling power of 25 kilowatts, a real milling machine, I said, well, of course I have that here. Look, this is the chip removal rate that you get. So in kind of 3 weeks, you are done with that, if you buy 2 machines. Well, his goal was actually like 3 weeks. And I said, well, to do it in 3 weeks, you need about 2 machines.
Yeah.
So the same day I got purchase order, big purchase order, I tell you. There was no negotiation, nothing, They were desperate, So I got these machines kind of quick-like, because the main components that were in stock in the United States, I got these machines over to Germany, however, with American hydraulics and electrics, because we didn't have the time to change that, Yeah. But that was not the key point. You see, with this one project, these machines were paid anyway, So they got these 2 machines, and they did that milling job. They were so happy. I mean, the first thing they did is they kicked this service company out of the power station. And so they finished that job. It was just a big success story. And then what happened was unbelievable, we really got very close to these people, and that on-site machining department that they had, that grew and grew, and they had all these crazy ideas, I mean, they were as crazy on the user side as we were on the manufacturer side.
Yeah.
You know? So it was a perfect match, you know. And I tell you, at the end of the day, over like 10 years, we sold like 100 machines to them. And the most expensive machines were like 1.3 million euros, you know. That was big money, you know. So anyway, so that was a big success story, and I don't want to go into detail. I could give you now beautiful stories about a couple of machines that were so fascinating, but let's just skip that, you know, because most of the people on the air, they get kind of bored, you know, if we get.
I mean, look, your old colleagues probably remember. At least
Yeah,
few
of
them,
course,
because
but
they also listen. Can always see how many people from the US are listening, and
Is
it's
that
quite a
right?
few. Yeah.
Is that right? You
Yeah,
know?
I think
Amazing.
almost second most listeners come from the US.
Is that right?
Most of them are German, of course, but
Hey,
then
cool.
US. Yeah, a lot of your old
Super.
colleagues are listening. Yeah.
Super. But you see, for the relationship of the company in the USA, our partner company and us, I mean, we created a big breakthrough for these people here in the German/European market. And we sold machines to the power gen industry, to the shipbuilding industry, to the mining industry, but also to companies startups, you know, startups that said, well, we want to offer these services to customers, you know, so we want to buy these machines, and then we offer service work to customers, and I think it's a great idea. And I still remember one story. Our company was like 3-4 years old, and there came these two guys. They came into my office and they said, "Well, we just started a company, and we want to get into the on-site machining business." And I said, "Wow, great. What customers are you working for?" "Well, we have been with a competitor so far, and we just started our company, but we have one order. We have one big order. It's a firm order that we got, and to drill out big threaded studs on a turbine housing." And I said, "Well, great, you know, why don't you do that? And then you can buy machines from us, you know." And they said, "Well, that is the problem. We have the order, and we have a little workshop already, but there are two things that we don't have. The first thing is the proper machines, and the second thing is money to pay for the machines."
Okay.
And I said, "Well,
it's a bad combination.
that is a great combination, you know, to start business with us, you know." But somehow these guys were so dead honest and so open, and you know what? To make a long story short, I gave them 3 big drilling machines, hydraulic drilling machines, to do their job. And it was a value of about 150,000 euros, you know. And I said, "Well, when you finish the job, you're going to buy these machines, and you get paid, you're going to buy these machines."
Yeah.
And they said, "Well, great. That is just what we were hoping for, and this is just what happened, you know." So, and this service company, they finished the job, they paid for the machines, and they turned into our second biggest customer.
Wow.
At the end of the day, they bought more than 60 machines, and they were working worldwide, you know. I mean, from 2 people. Imagine that, you know.
Crazy.
They were working worldwide and well accepted. They did great job, and they were working for big companies like Siemens, like GE, like Westinghouse, you know. So that was a big success story, and the company was growing. It was great. We met our 20% growth rate. It was not the problem at all. The minor problem that we had was to get more good people. And you see, since we were not a manufacturing place, we needed engineers, people that can do project work, that can create a configuration of a machine based on what we have available. And so it was not that easy, but over the years we hired a few people. We were very cautious, because in Germany, when you hire someone, you have them for good,
Yeah, literally.
So we hired a couple of good people. We were just a great team, and it was just great. However, my favorite word.
Yeah.
We were still owned by this company in Texas. One day, I think it was in 2007, they sold our partner company.
Okay.
You see, they were in the service business, and our partner company was a manufacturer. So, and at the time they bought this machine tool manufacturer to cover their own machine tool needs. But we had these stories before. It never works out. It's if you need a product, a machine tool or whatever, you go to the open market and select the best that you can get. Anyway, so 2007, just before they announced that to us, I had a meeting with them, and I was kind of pushing them to get permission to have to build our own building in Germany here, and they said, no way. We don't go for that because we are not a real estate company. We are not a real estate company. I mean, if you need more floor space and a bigger building, just rent one. And this is what we do, and you're going to be flexible, and you're going to. And I said, but look here, what we pay for rent now is going to be more than having a new building that covers our needs. But no way, they said, no own building, no way. And then a month later, they came up with that, we're going to sell the company anyway. So, and then I mean, probably the biggest change in my life happened. This company, our partner company in the United States, they were sold to a investment company, but a very special investment company. This company consisted of 6 guys, big shots from the U.S. industries. They have retired, and they didn't want to give their money to a bank.
Yeah.
They just wanted to invest the money themselves. So what they did, they started a company, an investment company, and they bought small companies. They created a board of directors. They were the board of directors because they had like a financial specialist, a manufacturing specialist, a whatever, I mean, design specialist. You had top expertise. Okay, these guys were retired actually, but all the know-how that they had, and the power that they had, it was just amazing, So these guys bought the company, and shortly after this buying process was done, I was invited to the United States to do a presentation about our GmbH in Germany here. or to introduce our GmbH in Germany to these 6 gentlemen. And I thought, well, at that time, I might push this idea with our own building.
Yeah.
So I went over to the States. We had our meeting. I mean, these gentlemen were just great people. It was so much fun to work with them. And I presented our company and the numbers that they liked very much. Growth rate of 20% per year. This is what investors like, And then I said, well, but there is one thing that I have on my mind, and that is our place the place that we are in right now is rented, and we need more space, I mean, if we want to grow the company, we need more space, It's just too small. And I made an investigation about a new building in the neighborhood. So we don't have a big change of address, it's the same neighborhood, the same industrial area. And it's an excellent return of investment. We buy the piece of land, and the building itself is going to be financed, but all the costs together is still less than what we pay right now for rent.
Yeah.
And then I could see how American board of directors work. The chairman of the board said, who goes with it? And we had 6 yays and no nays. It was so funny, And they said, well, go ahead and build your own building. And it was just great. So I went back to Germany and I spread the good news with my guys here. And we started this project of the new building. And there is, I still have some photographs here. You with a shovel.
Yeah.
When we started the building process, in Germany it's an old tradition. You put a box into the ground where you build a company into the ground with some items that or someone that digs that out in 150 years. Can see what this was all about. So anyway, you were the guy with the shovel and you were digging this hole.
Yeah.
And it was so funny, So we started to build this company. It's just beautiful place, with a nice office building, a nice workshop, and it was just perfect for our needs. And that was in 2008. In 2008, the building was done and we moved in. You wouldn't believe what kind of push that had on our customers, because we had this beautiful meeting room with the most modern equipment that you can think of, Well, because we had the money, We had more money than we could use, actually.
Yeah.
So, and then in 2008, our partners, the investors from the United States, that was about a year after we have, well, not quite a year, let's say about 6 months after the building was done, was finished. They approached me and they said, well, Willie, we are investors, and we have this beautiful 50-50 joint venture, and this is something that no investor needs, We normally buy 100% and make it grow. So we would like to buy your 50% and consolidate this German GmbH into the company group. So it's going to be one company.
Yeah.
You know. And the GmbH will be a subsidiary of the American company. And you see, they made an offer that was, well, I mean, you could not really turn down.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Well, you could, but you see, if you do business with Americans, and they make you a good offer, you better take it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't take it, I mean, they're going to get your company anyway, you know. I mean, they could actually dry you out, you know. I mean, until you get only a fraction of what they offered first, you know. So they made that great offer. They said, in addition, you get a package of shares of the company in the United States, and you're going to be a member of the board for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
In the United States. I mean, that was a dream coming through, you know. So
Yeah, that's perfect, especially because you can keep shares. Meaning, if they indeed turn this company, if they increase the value of this company, you also profit from it.
yes,
Perfect.
Absolutely. And please keep in mind, these were investors.
Yeah.
The average time frame they keep a company is 5 to 6 years, and then they sell it. You know. So if you are too stubborn, or if you say no, I'm not going to sell it, you know, it's my baby, and so on. I mean, forget about these emotions. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, go with them, and you're going to be happy at the end of the day. So I sold the company 50% to these people. I never regret that in my life. Because they paid a very solid price. It was enough money to pay off my house here, and also to build 2 additional houses, new houses, and also to have a nice piece of land. So I mean, it was just perfect. You know.
The shares that you had, how much was that approximately at that time in percentage of the company? Do you know that?
Yeah, it was not that much. It wasn't that much. It was a share package of about 100,000 US dollars, and they called that share appreciation rights.
Mm-hmm.
So these were not shares that you own part of the company. These were shares or documents equivalent.
Basically, only the rights that you profit from the share price increase.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
No? Mm-hmm. So, and at the end of the day, after I make a big jump now, after the 5 years, these $100,000, the value was $400,000.
Yeah.
No, that was just amazing. I mean, these guys, they really knew how to make money, you know. So from one day to another, I was not an owner of a company anymore, but I was still the managing director and the CEO of the company in Germany. That was part of the deal. So I had to sign a contract for 5 years. In addition, during these 5 years, I had to be a member of the board responsible for marketing and sales. And from a private point of view, I was kind of wealthy.
Yeah.
And it was just great, you know. I mean, my life within like 6-7 years, it turned from 0 to, I mean, it was just amazing. You know? But I had to go like every 6 weeks to the United States, either for board meetings. Well, the board meetings were every 3 months. But in the meantime, I had to go there once or twice for either projects or with customers. So I was traveling quite a bit between Germany and United States. And I took you and your mom along a few times, you know. It was kind of fun, you know. So basically, from this little startup to the year 2008. We grew the company quite a bit, but at the end of the day, we, to put it in numbers, we turned this company into a 12 million euro company with a profit margin of like 12 to 15%.
Wow.
You know? So that was, for these guys in the United States, was just what they were looking for.
Yeah.
And it was a great experience for me. And so privately, business-wise, everything was just perfect. And in our next episode, I tell you a few stories about the 5 years that I spent with this company, and then how it came to an end. When they sold the company, it was not that nice anymore, because a new investor, totally different approach.
Yeah.
Just financial guys, you know, they didn't know anything about how a company really works. They just wanted to see numbers. And so we kind of separated. But I'm going to tell you about this during our next podcast. So for today, thank you very much, son.
You're welcome.
And I hope these guys that are listening to us, they like that.
Yeah.
And well, it's kind of a crazy life, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody have a great time, and I'm gonna talk to you next time.
See you next time.
Yo, bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you everyone for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something from my dad. If you're interested in how his story continued, then make sure to tune in again next week for some more lessons. Also, make sure to share this podcast with your family and friends. I would love to see you again next week. Until then, have a good time.